Hello, Miss Catherine. It is March the 28th, 2024. So, how are you?
Woohoo! I am doing pretty darn good. Did you freeze?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Everything looked like it froze on your end, so I was like, either that or you just did not blink, which is a high possibility. But anyway, things are going pretty good. I have a job interview for a management position at David's Bridal, which
Hmm.
I'm really enjoying. It means that I will hopefully get to leave the YMCA a little bit early. So yeah.
Well, that's good. What else have you been up to?
So in writing news, because this is super exciting for me. Okay. So I was pestering Ben, who you've met, my alpha reader. As soon as we start recording, I need to cough and hack up a lung for no reason. Was
Yes.
perfectly fine right before we hit record. As I was saying, you know Ben, you've met Ben, we've recorded Ben. He is my alpha reader. Love him to death. Finally get a hold of him, because getting a hold of him when this season starts, as we call it, the SCA season. So he does SCA, and he's like constantly gone or constantly in the gym or constantly sword fighting somewhere. I'm like, that's great, but dude, like, you promised you'd help me proofread this. So I call him up, surprise call too. Like, I haven't talked to him in like a month, and I like called him up, and he's like, "Ah, I was going to try to call you." And I was like, "Uh-huh." And he's like, "No, I was." And I was like, You probably actually were, but it's fine." And he's like, "All right, let's hop down and read." Well, he sat there and he read my book to me, the first chapter anyway, which is chapter 14 for you, in the most ridiculous voices. So I'm sitting here being like, that is not ever how Eleanor would sound. And he's like, it is now. And I'm like, no. He did an amazing Robert, which he hated. He was like, ew, gross, that sounded wrong. And I was like, damn, that sounded exactly how I pictured him in my head. And he's like, really? And I was like, mm-hmm. And then he tried to go like Southern Belle for like Theodore. And I was like, please never do that again. Um, so it was a lot of fun to hear him read my chapter to me when we first started being like alpha reader and like help me, and he would read my stuff. I'd be like, stop, and now I'm just like, yeah, just keep going, just get through it, and just read it, it's fine. Because it's weird to hear it read back to you. You're like, yeah, I wrote that, but you're reading it to me. Like, how are you reading it to me? So that was really cool.
Well, good.
And then my good friend Kristen is also in the process of reading it. So she just read the original 14 chapters. So she's going to help me pick out which spots of that to do as my reader magnet and pull it into a smaller story of how like the two of them interact. Um, and that was cool. We got chit chatting about some of that, and then this one was the best. In the middle of the night, okay, it's like 11 o'clock at night, which is for some people the middle of the night. I get a random text from one of my friends who goes, "We're allowed to curse on here, right? I can't
Yeah,
remember."
this is our
Okay,
show.
okay. All right. Who goes, "Holy shit, you fucking asshole." And I was like, "What? What happened?" And I was like, "What did I do?" And she goes, "I can't believe that Theodore is blank, 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 blank." Because I'm not going to give spoilers away. But you know the scene. It's where Eleanor is discovering some stuff about Theodore. And so I was sitting there and I was like, "You're reading my book? You're annoyed at my book? This is kind of cool." And she's like, "I didn't see this twist coming." She goes, "I knew something was happening, but oh my God, that was a twist and a half. Never saw it coming." And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool to hear all this cool feedback." And then she like goes on and on about how like she's like, "And I can't believe you threw this in, and I love the character with this and the world building on this." And like by the time she was like done texting me, I was like, I'm gonna go edit my book. And sat down, and I've been editing for the last like 2 days because I was like, that was so awesome. to get like that random message that
Well,
started off
good.
by scaring me, but yeah.
Well, good.
Because I totally forgot that I had given her my book because she's an avid steampunk reader.
Mhm.
So I was like, sure, yeah, like you are technically my audience. Go ahead and give it a try. And she's like absolutely in love with it. She's like, there's so much steampunk to it. I love it. And I was like, awesome. I didn't think there was enough steampunk in it, but cool.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Mhm.
Well, writing news for me. Um,
Yes.
we had Rachel Herron on as a guest shortly before our hiatus, and I decided to take her 90 Days to Done class. That is now done, and I have made some significant progress on my manuscript. I have reset my goal for it to be done by the end of May.
Woohoo.
Um, so we'll see how that goes. And the reason that I reset it to be the end of May is because I'm going to attempt again to participate in the Dialogue Doctors, who we've also had on the show twice now, Jeff Elkins' Dialogue Dash. So
Mhm.
um, his 80-day program for planning a novel and then writing a novel and then editing a novel. Um, so using his method of character voices and for both single point of view and multiple point of view characters or books. So should be fun to do. I signed up for it last October when he did it in conjunction with Nano, and I didn't engage with it because I was busy with some client work. But this time I don't have any client work unless one of y'all wants to hire me. But I just I'm looking forward to participating in that because I really like what Jeff has to say, and I learn a lot from him. And I think everybody should, stick their nose up his ass and learn from him. So
It's a
anyway,
fun way of putting it.
yeah. Other news in my world. I had a real estate agent over to my home recently,
Ooh.
and we looked at uh, what it would take to get this place sold. And basically, it's going to be a lot easier on me than I thought it would because she's got all the contacts that I need. Somebody to take all the trash out once I'm done moving out. Somebody, and getting rid of all the stuff that I don't want, which is going to be quite a bit. Somebody to handyman fix the little things that I don't want to fix because I don't like getting on ladders. Um, that kind of stuff, replacing the carpet that needs to be replaced, all that sort of stuff. And then she told me about what the comparables are in other units, exactly my floor plan on the same floor in this building, um, have gone up in price about 55 or $60,000 in the last year. So I'll take that.
Yeah. That's good.
And so we're going to price the condominium at probably about $430,000, understanding that you can always come down. Yeah, it's a nice condo, and it's in a nice area, and it's valuable. So
Good for you.
um, yeah, so I'm still looking at June to move, um, and that should be that's starting to get exciting. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Now, if the house isn't sold by June, are you still moving?
yes.
Okay.
I don't have to be. This was one of my specific questions for her. I do not have to be in the United States to close on the sale. They'll just send a notary out to my house in Australia.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I mean that's like $100 charge. It's no big deal. So, um, it's as problems go, that's a small one to solve. She said one time that she had a client close a house from a tiny hut in a remote village in Africa. So Brisbane, Australia should not be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But that's
So
those are the big items that I've got.
that's awesome. Totally random. My cat decided to leave the window, and now it's very cold. she, it is fascinating how much of that wind, like not wind, but like, fresh air that's coming in, she blocked.
Well, she
Yeah.
cold and decided I've had enough of this.
Yeah, I think the squirrel that was underneath the windowsill finally went away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like she had been like in that hunter pose for quite some
Yeah.
time. For
Okay.
anybody who can't see that video, I'm not even sure what I looked like, but I'm sure that was great, great imagery.
Oh, so
Anyway,
anyway, yeah. So those are
so
the
what
big
are
things that I've
your
got. Go
okay?
ahead.
What are your goals now that, we're, I believe, getting back into podcasting? Woo!
I want to get us 8 to 10 episodes ahead and start recording again. Which we have planned to do. For those of you who are curious about where the podcast has been, we've taken a longer hiatus than we had anticipated, just because life gets in the way, and
Life.
yeah, and I had gone to Australia for 3 weeks, and it makes it real hard to record unless you're very, very careful about coordinating times, which we were not. So, um, and
We'll
I,
get there though. That's
yeah,
something we'll work out.
we'll figure it out. And the other thing is that I didn't have my full podcasting rig there, and I didn't have, I had a microphone, but I didn't have all my stuff, and I had a little bitty computer, and it was just not. And I was in a tiny, I was in a place about the size of a child's bedroom for a hotel room. So we rented an Airbnb, and it was nice to just be there together. But you know,
So you're in what I'm currently in with the setup that I'm currently using.
yeah. But I had another person living there with me as well. So my
I
fiance
mean,
was
he's not here at the moment, and I have my cat back in the window. No.
anyway. So, but we're looking forward to recording some more episodes for you. Last week we sat down and came up with some topic ideas. As always,
I've
if
got someone I
anybody
want to
is,
interview.
oh, do you?
I'm
Okay,
gonna
good.
I'm gonna go send out. I'm not gonna tell right on here. Remember, surprises.
No,
I'll
I
tell you after.
understand. I understand. And we
I've
had,
taken a few of their classes, so I would like to interview them.
okay, good. Well, if you can reach out and coordinate that,
Yep.
you know the drill. And so I I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of things and editing episodes and sitting down and having some fun with the podcast.
Mhm.
Especially given your new internet connection, which seems to be working okay for this.
Yeah, it's doing really good.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be able to record with you with some tools that are not Zoom. So, um,
Hey, I got real tired of getting cut out of the conversations.
no, I understand, and that's why we went to Zoom. But I would prefer to record with other tools if I could. So, just
For
because
anybody who
I'm a
doesn't or
snob.
hadn't seen, the two times that ever happened to VE, he was like, "How does this work? How do you?" And I was like, "This is my daily occurrence."
Yeah,
The rage you could see on his face on the other end was great. I was like, "Yes, take it, feel it, understand."
I love you too, Catherine.
Yes. Anyway.
So, anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of that and getting some episodes
Mhm.
together and publishing with y'all and sharing what we come up with.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yep. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I've got another short story I need to write, which is really weird because I don't normally write short stories. This one will be a longer short story than the other two. I'm trying
Okay,
to
so
keep them
only
under
fifty
10,000.
thousand words.
No, so I've got actually a short story that's under 5,000. I have another short story that's I think like 6,000.
I'm speechless.
Mhm. I don't think you've read them.
No, I haven't.
No, you read one because Ran and I did it together.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
Yep, so that's Lizzie's.
yeah, we
That's
did that
under
on the
5,000.
podcast, I believe.
Uh-huh. And then I have Theodore's short story, which I need to fix up a little bit that Jeff and I went over. So that'll be on his podcast, that was a lot of fun because he was like, "Hey, I love Theodore's accent." So it is interesting. I have gotten mixed results with Theodore's accent. I have had, it's absolutely amazing. I love being able to hear it. And I've had other people who are like, I could use less of it. Like, just tell me he has an accent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at this point 50-50 now. However, the one person who was like, it took me just a little bit. Like, I got over the fact that this is what, like, his accent is going to be when I read it. So, like, I'm okay with that. I don't mind it now that I'm, like, used to reading it. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's interesting to hear the hit or mix because, like I said, that one steampunk person who was reading was like, I cannot get over how authentic, like, I can hear the Irish, like, 1800s accent in him. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I pictured because the slang I use was a real fun party between the English and the Irish, and neither group wanted each other to understand what they were saying when they worked on the docks in England. And so they came up with their own slangs, and then the slangs went back and forth, and then they got combined, and then nobody knew what these group of people were saying, if they were English or Irish, but they
Mm-hmm.
spoke this lower slang from the docs that I use in my books. So it's fun. But yeah,
Cool.
I've got to work on those short stories because I would like to send them out and have them available by May.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
Yes, I'm supposed to have 4 short stories. I have Theodore's, which goes first. Then I have Lizzie's. Then I'm supposed to have Eleanor's. And then I have Theodore and Eleanor together. I
Okay.
have 2 of them technically written.
Well, good.
3 of them, if you count the first 13 chapters. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Well, that's it for me. So I guess we'll see everybody next time. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a personal update again or if it's going to be a full episode. We'll see how that goes. But we are recording again. We are getting back into the swing of things. So our hiatus is coming to a close.
Mm-hmm. All right, is this where we
So,
close it out? Because I was waiting for you to say goodbye, but I mean, if I have to be like, stay magical, I just wait for you.
well, there you go. We will see everybody next time. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Stay magical.